بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Hello everyone. On behalf of ISA Oman team, I'm delighted to welcome you all who are joining this live broadcast from around the world. And welcome to the second knowledge sharing session of our ISA Oman Knowledge Connect webinar series. Today, we are diving into a topic that's shaping the future of technology, business, and global security: the governance of generative AI. We will address its risk and its cybersecurity implication, and we are fortunate to explore it with an exceptional speaker. Our presenter today is a passionate programmer, an entrepreneur, and a talented web and graphic designer. She is also a talented IT and cybersecurity young professional currently working with OPIC Fund. Her passion, expertise, and commitment to innovation makes her the perfect person to take us through this topic. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Maryam Al Durrah. Welcome on board, Maryam.
Thank you, Mr. Nasser, and I'm very happy to be here. And I would like to also welcome everyone who's watching us. Thank you for investing your time in this session. Hopefully, it will be very beneficial and informative for you.
Thank you. So, Maryam, before we dive into your presentation, could you share with us what inspired you to choose this topic?
Well, the reason I chose this topic is because AI is advancing faster than most organizations can manage, which usually creates real risks. And having a strong passion for both AI and cybersecurity, and coming from an IT and cybersecurity background, I see how AI is shaping decisions, it's shaping data, and it's shaping security every day. So having the right governance in place has become very essential.
Thank you. So, without further ado, maybe I can invite you, Ms. Maryam, to start your presentation, and I'll just hide myself. Floor, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Nasser. Good evening, everyone. And thank you for joining this important session on governing the generative AI. Before we begin, let's start with something relatable. Think about your morning today. Maybe your phone unlocked with facial recognition, maybe your email automatically has sorted spam, and maybe ChatGPT answered a message, wrote a paragraph, or generated an idea in seconds. We are all surrounded by AI, often without even noticing. Now imagine this. The first scenario we have is a hospital that now uses AI to predict its patient's condition when the condition is worsening before nurses notice the symptoms. Another scenario is where a bank uses AI to detect fraud in milliseconds. And a major company accidentally fed customer data into ChatGPT, exposing sensitive information publicly. A real life example of the situation is Amazon, where employees were found entering confidential strategy documents and internal code into ChatGPT. Amazon warned the staff later that ChatGPT was generating responses that actually looked like Amazon's internal data, meaning it may have been used for training. Therefore, we have one technology but very different outcomes. That's why governance matters. In today's presentation, we will explore how to adapt generative AI confidentially, responsibly, and securely, even as the technology evolves faster than our traditional controls. As we kick off how quickly generative AI and AI agents have gone from just experiments to essential tools in nearly every industry, companies are now racing to adopt them because the benefits are undeniable. For example, we have the speed, the creativity, the automation, and entirely new ways of working. But here's the challenge: innovation is moving faster than our security and risk controls can keep up with. And when technology outpaces safety, organizations can unintentionally open the door to real vulnerabilities. That's why AI governance is not about slowing things down. It's actually about enabling us to innovate safely, as it gives us the structure, the guardrails, and the clarity that we need to harness AI's power without actually putting our people, our data, and our reputation at risk. If we govern it right, we don't just keep up with the future, but we actually lead it. And since we're living through one of the fastest technological shifts in history, generative AI gives us great benefits and great opportunities, like, for example, massive productivity gains, instant code and image generation, enhanced decision support, creative content generation, and we have faster research and decision making, etc. But we also face serious risks. For example, data leakage, bias and unfair outcomes. We have cyber vulnerabilities, lack of transparency, and also the employees unintentionally misusing the AI tools. And just to remember, the goal is not to eliminate the risks entirely. That is basically impossible. The goal is to actually manage the risks intelligently so AI becomes an accelerator, not a liability. Now let's talk about why AI governance truly matters. As organizations race to adopt AI, success is not just about building powerful models, it's also about building responsible ones. Governance gives us the foundation that we need, clear policies, clear decision rights, and clear accountability. In other words, governance tells everyone uh, who can do what with the AI and how it should be done safely. And strong governance ensures us against the biggest risks, as it helps us reduce ethical and legal exposure. So we're not caught off guard by unexpected modal behavior or regulatory changes. It brings transparency and explainability, which means we understand not only what the AI is doing, but also why is it doing it, and it ensures our safety and fairness. But governance is not just about protection, it also has a huge strategic advantage. When we balance innovation with ethics, we reduce legal, ethical, and security risks before they even become problems. We ensure our AI aligns with our broader mission and corporate values. This is a very important step. And we also build trust from customers, from partners, from regulators, and even from our own organizational teams. Because at the end of the day, people they don't want to just adopt a regular AI. They want to adopt an AI that they can actually trust. And here's the key takeaway: governance is not about slowing innovation down, it's about steering it responsibly so we can move fast with confidence, clarity, and integration. If we get the governance right, AI does not just work for us, it works with us safely and sustainably. Now, moving on to what organizations should establish to ensure safe and ethical AI usage. Starting with the first point for collaboration and stakeholders. Effective governance usually necessitates the formation of cross functional teams that usually includes the representatives from AI, from compliance, from legal, and from risk management. These teams are going to contextualize governance guidelines for AI, and they're going to commit to holding vendors accountable and making the evaluation process for selecting vendors much more robust. Organizations also they must collaborate with the internal stakeholders, for example, such as the AI and the data science teams, and so that they can also adapt responsible AI governance guidelines. Then, these guidelines should encompass parameters that ensure vendors are held accountable for responsible AI development. And this would help us mitigate risks associated with biased data sets and unauthorized use of content. And finally, we have the audit rights should be instituted to ensure that vendor transparency and explainability regarding their AI solutions, which includes providing proof of responsible AI practices. The second part is governance framework. It is crucial to build an adaptive AI governance framework that aligns with our existing operational models. This could include extending previously established data governance frameworks to incorporate the AI specific needs. The framework should allow for flexibility, and should focus on the current portfolio of AI use cases rather than just attempting to establish an overly broad governance that could become obsolete in future. And finally, we have establishing metrics to track the performance of AI initiatives and the initiatives and the changes in risk tolerance using the KRIs, which are the key risk indicators. The key risk indicators enables organizations to adjust their AI governance as they intend or they want it to be as necessary. And this ensures that alignments with business objectives and maintaining accountability. And in order for organizations to establish the above points, a framework needs to be set as a foundation. In this slide, I want to introduce a practical framework for managing trust, risk, and security in AI systems. This approach includes four key components, starting with the AI governance. This is basically the foundation. Governance sets the rules, responsibilities, and oversight mechanisms that determine how AI can and cannot be used within an organization. This is where leadership defines boundaries, and leaders should be able to address the following questions. For example, what types of AI use cases are acceptable, or for what are we going to use this AI? What activities require approval? Who is accountable for oversight? And how do we ensure transparency and ethical alignment? Without clear governance, AI development becomes dangerous and risks usually grow exponentially. The second point is uh, runtime oversight and policy enforcement. Even with the strong policies in place, AI systems need continuous monitoring once they go live and ensuring they follow the policies that we have put in place. Think of this basically as the security camera for AI behavior. It checks whether the AI is behaving as intended. It also detects unusual, risky, or unexpected outputs. And it automatically flags or blocks actions that violate policy or pose security concerns. This step ensures that AI does not drift into unsafe territory once it has been deployed. The third component focuses on the underlying technology that supports AI. AI depends heavily on environment which it operates. This step includes strong data governance, identity and access controls, encryption and security safeguards, logging and monitoring, and reliable infrastructure. AI cannot be trustworthy if the foundation surrounding it is actually weak. In other words, AI inherits the strength or weaknesses of the environment that it sits in. And the final component that we have relates to the emerging tools that can help organizations test, validate, and explain AI behavior. These capabilities are becoming essential and very important, especially as AI systems grow more complex. These tools may include explainability, bias and fairness testing, privacy enhancing techniques, and so on. These tools, they help us understand why a model made a particular decision and whether that decision is safe, compliant, and aligned with the organizational values. And together, these four elements create a holistic approach to managing AI in a responsible and secure way. Now, let's look at what it actually takes to implement this framework in practice. Keep in mind, this is not just a one time project, but it's an ongoing process that matures over time. And starting with the first step, which is defining clear enforcement policies. This is also your foundational step. These policies outline what responsible AI use looks like within our organization. These policies should cover ethical boundaries, what AI is allowed or restricted to do, and user responsibilities, transparency expectations, and so on. These policies basically act as the rule book for all the future AI developments and deployments. Next, organizations need visibility into where AI is already being used. Many companies discover that AI is deployed more broadly than they actually expected or had the knowledge. By assessing each system, we can identify the compliance gaps, the risk levels, and areas that need governance attention. And because moving on to the third step, because data is the backbone of AI, strong data governance is very essential. This step includes classifying data properly and managing the access securely and protecting information throughout the entire AI lifecycle. Think of this as building a strong plumbing before you run new water through the system. Without solid data practices, the AI built on top is going to be not reliable at all. After establishing the foundation, we move on to the fourth step, where organizations need practical tools that keep AI within their defined boundaries. This may involve guardrails that limit unsafe outputs, monitoring tools that track behavior, model validation and testing, automated risk scoring, and so on. These controls are going to create the safety nets that ensure AI is operating as it's needed. Then we have continuous monitoring. As AI is dynamic and it evolves as the data changes, monitoring must be also an ongoing process. We should watch out for bias outputs, model drifts, anomalies, adversarial or any other attacks. If the policy is not complying with what the organization has set it for, and if something goes wrong, the system should either alert the team or automatically intervene. Then we have the step before the last, which is building cross functional teams. AI governance is not just a technical responsibility, it requires collaboration across the entire organization. You need to build a culture, an AI culture within your organization. Strong governance teams include professionals from security, legal and compliance, risk management, IT, data science, operations, and business owners. Um, when you create these teams and this diversity, it will ensure decisions are practical and grounded in the real operational needs. And finally, we have documentation and auditability. Every AI system should be fully documented. This creates transparency and traceability. Documentations should include the purpose and the design of the AI, the version history, training data sources, risk assessments, use cases, and human oversight roles, and so on. This will enable accountability and support regulatory or internal audits. And of course, we need continuous improvement. As AI is evolving, so does the AI governance. And as technology progresses, organizations need to revisit and read and refine their policies, controls, and monitoring. Let's now address the generative AI security risks. Generative AI technologies present various risks that organizations must navigate, particularly in structured sectors like the governments and financial institutions. The following key risks have been identified through the recent research, starting with the most dangerous one, which is data privacy and leakage, which is a primary concern for organizations that adopt generative AI is the potential for unauthorized access to their sensitive data, leading to data leakage and privacy violations. This risk of integrating generative AI applications can expose organizations to breaches if the data that is fed into the AI and into the prompting structure or retrieved outputs is not adequately controlled. Then we have inaccuracies and hallucinations. Generative AI models can produce outputs that are plausible yet factually incorrect. This is referred to as hallucinations. This can lead to misinterpretation of information that results in poor decision making and inefficiencies when such AI tools are employed for critical functions within the organization. Then we have the bias in the outputs, which is also considered as very dangerous factor within the organizations. There, there is a risk of bias being inherited into the AI models, which can then lead to unfair or discriminatory outcomes. And these biases can affect the decision-making processes for whoever is using the AI, particularly and most dangerously in sectors that require high level of fairness, like, as we said, financial institutions or public services. Then we have regulatory exposure. The evolving landscape of AI regulations introduces complexities that organizations must be contend with. Insufficient AI governance can lead to legal liabilities, financial penalties, and reputational damage, particularly when deploying generative AI in areas that are subject to strict regulations, like the government operations and the financial services, as we mentioned before. And since organizations implementing AI systems need to adopt a variety of measures to protect sensitive data effectively throughout the development lifecycle. Here are the key practices and strategies that organizations should take into consideration, starting with establishing clear data governance policies. Organizations should develop and enforce comprehensive data governance frameworks, which includes defining data ownership, setting user permission, establishing security protocols for data access. These policies are very crucial for ensuring that sensitive information is handled ethically and securely. Then we have implementing the principle of least privilege. Access management should enforce the principle of least privilege, where it ensures that users and systems have only the necessary access to perform their specified tasks. This would reduce the risk of sensitive data exposure from compromised accounts. Then we have utilizing continuous monitoring and auditing tools, where continuous monitoring of data access and usage is very important for identifying suspicious activities or potential breaches. Organizations should employ robust audit trails and monitor dashboards to track real time data interaction within the AI applications. And monitoring also, we have finally in the core measures, monitoring compliance and engaging the stakeholders. Regular evaluation of compliance with the evolving regulations is very necessary, especially with the rapid advancement in the AI technologies that we're seeing nowadays. Engaging stakeholders across departments can actually help forge a comprehensive approach to securing sensitive data effectively. Then we move to risk monitoring. In risk monitoring, we can identify risks using key risk indicators, where establishing them allows organizations to actually monitor shifts in risk tolerance throughout the entire AI project's lifecycle. This dynamic risk monitoring, it enables proactive adjustments to governance and operational measures, ensuring that ongoing compliance and risk mitigation is in place. Then we have baseline controls, where organizations are encouraged to establish foundational security controls that can manage AI cyber risk effectively. This could include conducting impact assessment and also maintaining documentation for AI systems to ensure the traceability and accountability throughout the entire AI lifecycle. And finally, we have impact assessment and full documentation, where every AI system must have a documented risk assessment before its deployment. Now let's bring everything we have discussed together into a simple and practical roadmap that every leader can apply, regardless of the size or the maturity of their organization. The first step we have is assessment. This is where you look honestly at your current AI landscape. You can figure out what AI tools are already being used, where is data coming from, who is using the AI and for what purpose, and where are the risks, gaps, and opportunities that AI brings to our organization. You cannot govern what you cannot understand. So this step is about mapping your AI usage and identifying the risks and evaluating your readiness in terms of technology, people, and skill, and also, of course, policies. The second step is to define your AI principles and policies. This is where leadership sets the tone for responsible AI use across the entire organization. You define what responsible AI means for your culture, for your ethics and your risk appetite. This step could include acceptable user guidelines, ethical boundaries. What are the ethical boundaries? What human oversight requirements do we need? What is the transparency and fairness expectations that we have? Because clear definitions ensures that everyone, starting from executives to employees, understand what is allowed and what is restricted, and what standards must we meet within our organization. The third step is to establish governance structure and controls. This is where policies become operationals. The policies that we have defined before, we put them into action. You build cross functional committees, assign ownership, and implement the processes that are needed to approve, monitor, and manage the AI systems. You can establish vendor review procedures, data protection standards, and security controls. This step is very essential to ensure that AI is implemented within a consistent and safe governance framework. The fourth step that we have is training, because AI governance does not work without people. Even the best policies, they will fail if the employees don't understand them. So this step focuses on education and awareness across all the organizational levels. For example, developers and data scientists, they will learn how to the secure and ethical development practices. The business teams learn responsible use of AI tools. The employees would understand what data can and cannot be shared. And leaders would know and would learn how to make informed AI driven decisions. Training builds a culture of responsible AI use, and it reduces the risks of human error, which is still the number one cause of AI misuse. And finally, the fifth step is to monitor and improve continuously. As AI evolves rapidly, so does its risks. This step is about ongoing oversight, tracking key risk indicators, monitoring model behavior, evaluating outcomes, checking the compliance, and updating controls as needed, etc. This will ensure that your governance framework stays effective, it stays relevant, and also it's aligned with changing technologies and regulations. Organizations that see governance as a continuous cycle, not a one time project, are the ones who stay ahead in the generative age. And as we close, here are the main messages for today. AI brings opportunities and new risks, and the governance enables safe and scalable AI adoption. Security and governance accelerate innovation, they don't block it. And the organizations that win in the generative age are those that adopt AI responsibly, securely, and transparently. Thank you.
Thank you, Mariam. It was really insightful session. So let's start with the question here. I
Mhm.
have a few questions from the team. Well, let's start first with Hamid Farouk. He say, "Do we have any dedicated ISA AI governance standard?"
Do we have any ISA governance standard, dedicated ones? I'm sure we do, but
Mm,
to be fully honest, I am not fully sure about it. But you can definitely check our website, the ISA website, and have a look if AI governance standards exist.
okay.
But I think we do have a couple of
Yeah.
documentations as far as
So
I remember.
yeah, just to help with this,
Mhm,
actually, I have used ISA Memo,
mhm.
which is our LLM for ISA standards, and it answered that currently we don't have ISA governance, standards. However, there is some other standards like ISA, IEC 62443 for cybersecurity and for system integration that can be utilized, but a dedicated standards for AI governance, I say does not have so far yet.
Mm.
So let me move to another question. There was a question by Muhammad Abdullah, Muhammad Hamid. He said, "Can you please share this AI tool name that and what will be subscription cost?" I think maybe
Uh,
if you
s-
can answer, yeah.
elaborate, please? Like, what AI
Yeah,
tools do you exactly need? You can message me later, and I can send you a full spreadsheet of the AI tools that you need with your costs.
thank you. Uh, we'll move to also other questions here, part of the discussion we had. So the first one, it was beyond the KRI, the key risk indicators. How can an organization quantify the positive return of investment of its AI governance program to ensure the ongoing executive supports? Is it through the reduced incident or faster audit cycle, or something else?
Okay, basically to show the value or ROI of an AI governance program, the organizations they need to highlight how the governance actually makes work easier, safer, and cheaper. It's not only about reducing the risks, and also, good governance usually helps teams to launch AI projects faster because
Mm,
everyone knows the rules, everyone knows what to do, everyone are complied with the policies that we have put in place. It also prevents costly mistakes like data leaks, biased outputs, hallucinations, compliance issues, etc., which can save the company a lot of money and a lot of resources. And another way to show ROI is to track the improvement in the efficiency of the AI, whether we
okay.
have fewer incidents or smoother audits and less back and forth between the legal, security, and the business teams.
Okay. There's also another interesting questions for people who are really willing to adapt this model, saying that for an organization just starting out, what is the one piece of low hanging fruit or the first critical step you would recommend they will take to build the momentum for their AI governance framework without getting overwhelmed with a lot of, activities?
Okay, well, for any organization, no matter the size and the maturity of the organization, but if they want to just enable and have like the AI governance journey, the most important first step is creating a clear and shared understanding of how AI is already being used within the organization. Many companies jump immediately into policies and tools, and that quickly becomes very overwhelming. Instead, you can start with a simple AI inventory, identify which departments are using AI, what data it relies on, and what are the possible risks that we could have due to this AI.
Okay, excellent. Uh, there's another question. Maybe this is the last question. It's asking, could you share an example of a key clause or a requirement organization should include in their contracts with Gen AI vendors to ensure transparency, accountability, especially regarding this data privacy and the model audits?
Okay, one important clause that organizations should add is basically transparency and auditing. This means that the vendor should clearly explain how their model has been trained, what kind of data it's using or it has used before, and what steps they are going to take to reduce the issues that are related with AI, like bias, how to protect the privacy, and how to keep the system secure. It also gives the organization the right to check or audit the model whenever it's needed. So transparency and audit clause are very important.
Okay. I think that's all. Thank you, Mariam. Okay, so this brings us to the end of really, truly insightful presentation. Mariam, thank you for your demystifying such critical topic for us. A big thank you also to our vibrant online community. Your excellent question, encouragement, comments on our ISA Oman social media platform are what makes this session so interactive. This is just the beginning. As part of our commitment to knowledge sharing, we are stacking an amazing presentation for you. So stay tuned for our upcoming presentation. Finally, before you go, we invite you to watch a short closing video to learn more about the valuable ISA certification program that might advance your career. Thank you all for your time. Stay safe and stay connected. And let me just before that share a quick notes from the team here. One from Ms. Hidayah Noor. So thank you, Hidayah, for your comments, and also Mr. Hafiz Al-Kathiri. I really appreciate it, and I hope your question was a bit clear to share it. But hopefully next time, inshallah. So again, thank you, and have a great day. Thank you, Maryam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.
The International Society of Automation Certification and Certificate Programs improve ROI, promote safety, improve productivity, and provide third-party endorsement of knowledge and experience. ISA currently offers 2 certification programs, Certified Automation Professional, CAP, and Certified Control Systems Technician, CCST. CAP certified professionals are responsible for the systems, software, and equipment used in control systems, manufacturing information systems, systems integration, and operational consulting. CCST certified professionals calibrate, document, troubleshoot, and repair instrumentation for systems that measure and control level, temperature, pressure, flow, and other process variables. Both certification programs require applicants to meet certain eligibility criteria and pass a multiple-choice exam. ISA offers review courses and study materials to help you prepare. Learn more at www.isa.org/certification. ISA also offers certificate programs, which require applicants to take a training course and pass an exam. The ISA 84 Safety Instrumented Systems Certificate Program includes 3 certificates based on the ISA 84 series of standards focused on functional safety in the process industries. The ISA IEC 62443 Cybersecurity Certificate Program includes 5 certificates based on ISA IEC 62443, the world's only consensus-based industrial cybersecurity standard. The standards and the resulting training and certificate programs cover the complete life cycle of cybersecurity protection. Developed by international cybersecurity experts from industry, government, and academia, the evolving standards bridge the gap between operations technology and information technology. For more information on ISA's Safety and Cybersecurity Certificate programs, visit www.isa.org/certificates.